Hey guys, Mr. Lloyd here, going to work with you on today, Wednesday, April 29th, and we'll be working through, we'll be beginning with this page. It says day 3 of second week, part 3. So we'll be working through this and another page on this video. So the beginning of this page is, I'm hovering over this with my cursor here. There are a bunch of instructions. This is just some sort of guided practice. When you're reading this, think about the way I would be talking to you in the classroom. These are the kinds of questions I would be asking you, the kinds of notes we would be taking. But of course, since we're online, I'm not going to ask you to take these notes. They're all typed up for you. These instructions here on these pages are just there for your information, just a way to help you kind of organize your thinking and get yourself activate some of that background knowledge so that you know what we're going to be talking about today in math and what types of math problems you're going to be asked to solve. So coming down here, we get down to about halfway down the page where it asks us to do our first math thinking here and write some answers. And so coming down here, it says look at the tables on the top of page 321. So let's go ahead and click over to page 321. And here it is. It says 321 at the bottom of the page. You can see it right there. And so at the top of this page, in case you're wondering, it says numerical data and dot plots. And we've got these couple tables up top. So this is the page that we're looking at. The first thing I want you to pay attention to is the data tables here. So here's Miss Jackson's class. And it's the number of crunches or number of sit-ups. So it's an exercise. And so you can see that Lucas did 36, Ava 32 crunches, Tyler 44, and so on down the line. And what we're going to be asked to do is compare this data from Miss Jackson's class to this data from Mr. Ryan's class. And if you notice, same data collected. We're checking how many crunches each student could do. And so you see here Mr. Ryan's class. The dot plot here shows us this data graphed out on this plot. So on the bottom, if you'll notice, this is just a simple number line. We're dealing today only with whole numbers. So we're starting at number 30 and going to 45. And then every time you see a 31, you put 1 mark here. So this 31 comes from Jorge here. And there are two 32s, that would be Ava and Reina. So those two dots represent Ava and Reina. There are 3 36s, that looks to be Lucas, Alexis, and Leah. And so we've plotted those just like this, and so on down the line. So that's what each of those dots represents the number of crunches that one student gets, or was able to complete, excuse me. So let's take you through this page here, and then we'll go back to the first page to answer those couple of questions that the paper asked you. So number 9, this problem number 9 says the data tables show how many crunches various students completed. Is the number of students shown on the tables the same as the number of students in the plot? And so what they're asking us to do here is count up the total number of students that we've collected data from. That's 12 students. You can count them up and add them yourself. And then you count up each dot, and we can see simply that there are 12 students, there are 12 dots. So there is 1 dot for each student. And I kind of explained that to you, and you have some familiarity with these dot plots as well. So this shouldn't be brand new, but if it's something that's a little fuzzy in your thinking, always important to understand each of these dots represents one piece of data collected. Okay? How does the dot plot represent data in the tables? So these problems, if you notice, I'm not doing any calculations on this page. I'm just answering some conceptual questions. I'm just kind of explaining my thinking, and you're going to do the same thing on your paper. So how does the dot plot represent the data in the tables? Well, each dot is plotted on the number that shows how many sit-ups or crunches one student completed. So each kid gets their own dot, right? We kind of talked about that earlier. And then finally, number 11, in the dot plot, there are 3 dots above 36. Which students do these dots represent? And I listed these students earlier. It would be Lucas, Alexis, and Leah. I'm going to bring you back up here. Just one quick little reminder. Lucas has 36, so he's one of these dots. Alexis has 36. She's one of these dots. And then Leah has 36. She's one of these dots as well. These 3 dots are those 3 kiddos. And so there they are. They're plotted above the number 36. I know this because the data shows that these students completed 36. I keep using the word sit-ups. The paper used the word crunches. Uh-oh, mistake. Okay, but there you have it. So that's how we do that page. And let's go back to the very beginning page. I'll just take you back here. So problems 1, 2, and 3 here. Actually, 3 we don't really have to answer, but 1 and 2 we do. And so let me take you through. So using the data from the table, answer this question. Which class did better in crunches, and why is that a difficult question to answer? So I'm going to show you the data tables again. When I'm looking at this data table for Miss Jackson's, and I'm looking at it compared to Mr. Ryan's, it's not clear to me just looking at these numbers listed like this, which class did better. Is better more crunches? Was there a time limit? If you notice, we've got some kids who did 31, other kids who did 44. It's hard to say based on the data being displayed like this, which class did better. It's hard to really answer that question. So let me take you back. Let me show you what I wrote here. It's hard to compare these classes because Mrs. Jackson's class has more students and everyone did a different number of sit-ups. So just looking at the table alone without doing any calculations or computations, it's not really clear who did better, who did worse. If they're equal, it's just hard to say. There's no way to really know that without doing a little bit more math investigation. Number 2 here, your answers are going to vary because this is asking you to kind of think a little bit about your understanding about graphs and why we use them, all kinds of different ways in which we can visually represent data. In general, I want you to answer something specific, choosing one of these bar graphs, pictographs, tally charts, and so on, and explain why that would be one choice better than the other. But in general, the point of these types of tools is to help us see data displayed. So as I'm looking here at this dot plot, which is what we're focused on today, I can see real quickly that, well, one person did 31, 2 people did 32, 3 did 36, 1 did 37. That helps me kind of organize my thinking a little bit by sorting it out in this dot plot form. So that's just one of the ways in which we visually represent data. We'll keep exploring these types of tools in the next few days and over the course of next week as well. I hope this video was helpful for you. Please continue to ask questions. I've got students asking questions through chats, through YouTube comments, through Google Classroom comments, through Zoom chats, through email. You can have your parents text me or call me. Please keep those questions coming. I hope these are helpful, and I'll be recording the next couple videos for Wednesday coming up in just a moment. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.